The Netherlands and Ghana have maintained diplomatic relations since 1701. Ghana is one of the Netherlands' principal trading partners in sub-Saharan Africa and also one of its development cooperation partner countries. The Dutch embassy in Accra is responsible for Côte d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone and Togo. But today on the show, we take a look at bilateral ties between Ghana and the Netherlands. Be my guest. His Excellency Ambassador Ron Stricker is the head of the Netherlands mission here in Ghana, and he is going to help us to discuss bilateral ties between Ghana and the Netherlands. So be my guest and let's have a very interesting discussion on the show today. Your Excellency, welcome.
Thank you, Harriet. I'm very happy.
Did I get it right? That was to say welcome to Diplomatic Affairs.
I think you did perfect.
Great, thank you.
I think you did perfectly. And I'm very happy to be here on your show, Diplomatic Affairs. And I compliment you on the perfect pronunciation of the word welcome in Dutch.
Thank you.
I cannot do better, but I'll try. Akwaba.
Oh, that's great. You did excellent. That's good. Medase.
Thank you.
All right then, how long have you been a diplomat?
I started my career in 1980 when I finished my law study at university. We had first a sort of professional diplomatic training year, and in July 1981 I found myself and my wife in Kenya. I started my career in Kenya, and then of course since then we have been around the world. We have been a lot, of course, also.
Was that your first post on the African continent?
It was the first posting in the African continent. To mention a couple of countries, after came Tunisia, for instance, Bangkok I've been in Thailand. I've been stationed for a shorter while also in Santiago, in Chile, in Latin America. And later on then, a bit later in my career in London, and my last posting actually were the postings of Ambassador to Saudi Arabia, Ambassador to Morocco, before coming here to Ghana.
Do we have anything in common as in country to country?
Yeah, we have a common history, and we have a common, I would say, very good recent relationship as well. What I think, yeah, we share, of course, something, which is we share democracy.
Right.
Democratic principles. Maybe the most important thing we share as a nation, as peoples, is freedom. We are the free people, or we belong to the free peoples on this planet. And a bit more in detail, of course, we have the rule of law and human rights. We have high on the agenda. There is a good respect for that, and it's a bit political, but I mean it is important, I think, to start with that.
Now let's come to your works. What are the primary responsibilities of your mission stationed here in Ghana?
A couple of points, but of course what all embassies and all ambassadors have in common, that they are here put by the Dutch government for the benefit of the Dutch people, and to take care of the interest of the Dutch citizens and of the Dutch business community. Those are fundamental things. And then you go a little bit further, and then you see that the political aspects are very much there. The political handling, political relations with the country where you're in, and that includes Ghana as well, are part of your job. That's not only my job, because we have a fantastic team at the embassy, and we do things really together. And I have the particular honor to be head of that. So we do it together, and the politics is one. Of course, the economy, economic relations, trade and investment is another very strong component, and is maybe the core element of the work that we do at present. But let's not forget that we do a lot of cultural things as well. And of course, what is very important, we do consular things, and that means that we help Dutch who need our help here in the country, and at the other hand, we take care also, for instance, of the visa applications.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because most of the time when we talk about the organizations or the foreign organizations in Ghana, most people think that they are just here for the consular section.
Yes.
And they forget that they have the various departments that take care of other things. Now, talking about relations between us, exactly, let's take out the consular section. What are some of the things that we are doing together, politically, socially, culturally, for the socio-economic developments of both nations? What are some of the things that we are doing together?
I think the core, if I look at also capacity at the embassy, and a core element is in the relations is what we call the trade and investment agenda. Very important for us is to be a partner of Ghana, I think, in making Ghana a prosperous country. This is clearly the agenda of the government. We have this, I would say, great mantra of the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda, which of course implicitly, that it implies really, of course, the road towards a prosperous country. And we would like to help with that. So the main instrument is the trade and investment agenda. We have a couple of terms for that. We call it also from aid to trade. We have had a long-standing aid relationship, a classical aid relationship between the Netherlands and Ghana. That is shifting now. That is in transition towards a trade and investment agenda. And that is also the core business, I would say, of the team at the embassy at the moment. At the same time, political relations remain hugely important. We both, of course, promote democracy, human rights, the respect for the rule of law, not only within our own countries, because we should guarantee those, but also we promote them at the international platform. This year, the Netherlands is a member of the Security Council, and that puts a special responsibility upon us, of course, to promote peace, democracy, and also, of course, justice and development. At the same time, it gives us also particular opportunities, extra opportunities to do that. So the political elements is also a very important part of the work. And then you have other things, of course, that, like I said, the cultural exchanges, and of course the consular work, because that is still high on the agenda.
I know you are big when it comes to agriculture, sanitation, and also education. And can you tell us what is happening in those areas?
Now, let's start with agriculture.
Right.
Holland is an agricultural country with some reputation. We are the second largest exporter of agricultural products in the world. I should say we import a lot as well.
Yeah.
But we have made quite some progress over the last decades, really an enormous progress in the last decades in agriculture, in horticulture, because of innovation. You can do a lot if you apply the correct technology, if you are innovative, if you seek to modernize your agriculture every single day, even when you are not a big country in geographical terms, and we are not. Holland is only, I would say, about less than 20% of the Ghanaian surface, so we do not have that much land.
Big.
So we had to be effective. Now, that means that in terms of knowledge, experience, and technology, we have a lot to offer, and that would, of course, be of the benefit to Ghana, where agriculture has always been important, but of course is at the moment a top priority of the government, I would say, of the nation of Ghana, to seek to get more out of the agriculture in this country. So that would be one sector.
Sanitation.
We work in a couple of sectors, like the increase of productivity in cocoa, in palm oil. We have a Ghana veg program, which we recently changed into the hortifresh culture program because we included also fruits. But there in the Ghana veg program we try to promote the growing of healthy green vegetables in Ghana. It's good for your health, and it would be fantastic, of course, also if more farmers could make a living out of that, and market demand would increase. So that is something where we can help with our agricultural expertise. In water sanitation and hygiene, is very obvious that there's a big need for Ghana to change in that, to improve the situation. I think that the government and also other partners within society have taken initiatives, many initiatives to do that, and we are proud to help them with that. And in programs to get more and clean water and healthy water to communities, to get better sanitation facilities, basic toilets, because many institutions and houses do not have toilets in Ghana. In helping with all that, we try to do it through a sort of entrepreneurial angle. Try to make sure that any initiative which you try to help with a subsidy or with whatsoever is being seen as a business. That guarantees sustainability. If people see that an activity is a good idea because they can make money out of it, they will invest in it and they will continue to do it. And that is a bit of the approach that we're trying to do, a bit to get away from handouts. We should get away from handouts, because the president has also said so. We should change our mentality, and we should also change, of course, our approach. That's what we're trying to do.
Now, we mentioned the economy, which is part of the agenda that your mission is championing in Ghana. What do you make of government's one district, one factory, one village, one dam, one constituency, $1 million, the flagship programs of government? What do you make of it? Do you think we are on the right path?
First of all, of course, we work with the government there is. So I have no blue or red preference or whatsoever. That is not the position of my government, and that is certainly not the position of the ambassador. But at the same time, of course, what I noticed, I came here a couple of months, I think, before the election, is that the government had a plan and has a plan. And I think the government has done a lot in the last year or the last 1.5 years to create or to come to a more, I would say, financial economic stability, make sure, of course, that the budget is stable, that your expenditure levels are sustainable, that you to try to decrease, of course, the national debt in relation to the national income, because that is, of course, a problem in Ghana. It's a worry for the government, but also for the international community, to get inflation down, to get a better economic growth figure. And if we look at most of those figures, maybe even all of them, I think they have been positive over 2017, and we have seen also a positive trend over 2018 so far. So in that sense, I think the signs are encouraging.
Your favorite slogan is no taxes, no future, which I know your country is equally assisting us with how best to handle the Ghana Revenue Authority. Can you tell us more of what is happening in that area?
We had a very interesting slogan in the Netherlands. I think it started 30 years ago on taxes. You have to make sure that the citizen understands that paying taxes is not only an obligation, but it also serves a purpose.
And a responsibility.
And it is a responsibility, but it serves a purpose. You're not paying them for nothing. And the slogan in Holland was, we cannot make it nicer for you, we only can make it easier. That means that your tax return, which was 30 years ago quite complicated and cumbersome and people didn't like it, they digitized it, and now it is basically it's piece of cake for most people. You can do it in half an hour. The Netherlands, of course, we support fully the attempts and I think also the very strong efforts of the Ghanaian government, of course, to create jobs. And to incite, of course, the private sector to create jobs, because that is where the jobs have to come from. Private sector, young entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship in general, and so forth. So in that sense, our efforts to get investors from the Netherlands, Dutch companies, here to Ghana, to establish themselves, to create factories there, to create jobs together with the Ghanaian partners, we hope, of course, will support all those policies.
Right, so we are wrapping up on today's episode of Diplomatic Affairs. Any message from you to the Dutch community here in Ghana and also the people of Ghana?
To my Dutch community, of course, I can assure that the embassy and of course also the ambassador will continue to work for them, that we hope to see them a lot, that we, of course, hope to be in contact a lot, that we are there when, of course, there are problems. We have very regular, of course, events, contacts and whatsoever, to make sure that also within this country we operate as much as possible as one team. And of course to the people of Ghana, which I appreciate enormously, because I mean I think that the jewel of Ghana is its people. I can only say that I have enjoyed so much friendship over the first 2 years of my period here. I can only hope that I can continue that, and that I can maybe do even more for this country, and that we have even more friendship and good relations. So I'll do my best for that, and I'm sure that my Ghanaian partners will do the same.
You have been watching Diplomatic Affairs, and today's show we brought to you the head of the Netherlands mission here in Accra, as we got to know basically the relationship between the Netherlands, or the people of Dutch, and also Ghana. So it's been very fruitful conversation, and we are grateful for your time, Your Excellency. All right, then, so we take a break. When we come back, the show continues.
Okay.
All too soon, this is where we draw the curtains on Diplomatic Affairs as we sign out with the National Day of the Netherlands, King's Day. Now, King's Day is celebrated on April 27th each year, marking the birthday of King Alexander William. This year, the King celebrates his 51st anniversary, which was marked by the embassy at the residence of the ambassador. Here in Accra, it was a night of glitz and glamour. Do enjoy. Until then, see you same time next week. My name is Harriet Nati.